Fox News alert on new concerns about the wildfire fight across California as forecasters warn of hurricane-strength winds while flames rage out of control from wine country to Los Angeles. Thousands of people forced out of their homes, millions now without power. We have Team Fox coverage. William Lajeunesse is in Los Angeles. But let's start with Dan Springer. He is live up in the northern part of the state in Healdsburg. Dan?
Yeah, and Dana, just take a look at the destruction all around me. We're at a working farm, and there are at least a couple dozen vehicles that were destroyed in the fire and a lot of other farm equipment. This is a critical 24-hour period that we are entering because the winds are expected to get stronger tonight, between 40 and 50-mile-an-hour gusts. Not quite as strong as early Sunday morning, but plenty strong enough to pick this fire up again. We just saw a crew in this area doing some mop-up work, hoping to keep this area from flaring up when the winds do pick up later tonight. Crews made good progress yesterday as the winds were quite a bit lighter. The fire spread very little and containment jumped to 15%. The big effort now, of course, is to keep the flames from crossing to the west side of Highway 101 into an area that's heavily populated and hasn't burned in decades. The beleaguered PG&E is cutting power to more than 600,000 customers in 29 Northern California counties. The nation's largest utility now admits downed power lines started two fires in the East Bay on Sunday, and a big transmission tower likely started the massive Kincaid fire. Residents are upset about that, but they're also complaining about the power shutoffs aimed at preventing new fires.
Just feels like it's out of control. Same thing keeps happening over and over again. You know, it's like, I know everybody's tried to make improvements, but obviously it's not working.
Some mandatory evacuations were lifted yesterday, but those residents were told, be ready to go tonight if this thing explodes again with the high winds. Dana?
All right, terrible situation. Thank you, Dan Springer. Let's go to William Lajeunesse. He's covering the wildfire threat in Southern California, and he joins us live in the Brentwood neighborhood of Los Angeles. William?
Well, Dana, 8 homes here destroyed, several others damaged. I can show you how the fire started here. Right across the street, you can see the Getty Museum. Well, the fire literally climbed up this hill right here and destroyed and take the houses out along Tiger Tail Road right here. 9,000 people right now remain evacuated from this area of Brentwood. The fire about 5% contained, but they're hoping to improve that before those high winds arrive tonight.
We're going to see maybe winds up to gusts as much as 70 miles an hour. And as we've seen in Northern California and experienced in past fires here, those can pick up and transfer the fire miles away sometimes.
So you get this pumper truck right here and these wildland firefighters right now. You can see hand crews literally coming down here, Dana. They don't want to come back here tonight when these flames return. So literally they're trying to douse these hot spots, also turning over some of the soil so when the winds come back, they don't rekindle the fire and reignite embers. The cause of the fire right now unknown, but investigators are looking into an area where winds appear to have snapped a tree branch, knocking out a power line that may have caused the fire. Why the concern? We'll look at here. A woman in a backyard in Sacramento catches a live wire start a fire. What's evident here, the controversy raging in California as PG&E in the north and Edison in the south consider cutting power to millions tonight. Governor Newsom critical, saying these companies are going to be fined up to $100,000 a day for not following protocols. PG&E, they're in bankruptcy, spending $2.5 billion to meet the state's 2045 green energy mandate. Republicans say that money can be better spent on hardening the electrical lines, burying them in some cases, or clearing brush. So that's the political backdrop to this story, Dana. But of course, right now, people are concerned about the high winds returning tonight into tomorrow.
All right. William Lajeunesse in Los Angeles for that. Thank you. Democrats are taking the next step toward impeachment, moving to bring their case against President Trump into the open. And as we wait for details on the House resolution laying out guidelines for the investigation, just minutes ago, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell says he'll make sure the president gets the same due process that Nixon and Clinton received. McConnell also said this.
Well, it strikes me that there's no small amount of irony associated with the fact that the president is apparently being impeached in the House shortly for holding up aid to Ukraine, and at the same time, the Democrats are filibustering the defense bill or say they're going to filibuster the defense bill, which we'll vote on later this week, which would provide for the assistance to Ukraine.
Trent Duffy, former Deputy Press Secretary to President George W. Bush and a partner at HDMK, and Robin Biro, he's former Obama campaign regional director. Good to have you both. Trent, could I have you listen to Congressman Jim Jordan, who talked about these developments today, and get your reaction? Watch.
People have said that today is the first time we're going to get to hear from someone who was actually on the phone call. That is just not accurate. We've already heard from two. This is the third. We've already heard from President Trump and President Zelensky. We have had the call transcript where we see no conditions placed on aid in the call, no quid pro quo. We've had the two people on the call, President Trump and President Zelensky, say there was no pressure, no one was pushed.
So Republicans last week were arguing processes, that this is not fair, we can't get in there. The speaker, basically, I think she was feeling a little bit of the pressure and deciding they are going to formalize and have an impeachment inquiry vote as possibly as soon as Thursday. Trent.
Yeah, well, it should be doing this. It's been a joke up until now, and I think it's really giving Donald Trump the ability to say that Washington and the lamestream media are out to get me. So they're going to have this vote. It's going to be a sham. The Democrats are going to move forward with impeachment, and then the Senate's going to absolve the president. So it's going to backfire. And, you know, it might seem kind of bleak right now for things, but I think the election is not this November, it's next November. And a lot of things are going to happen between now and then that are going to put the president and the Republicans in a lot stronger position.
Somebody who was there for the last impeachment was Newt Gingrich. Robin, listen to what Newt Gingrich said last night on Hannity about this process.
If they come up with a piece of junk on Thursday, and it's just the same bloody whitewash that we have seen already with Schiff, then it is a joke. It'll be of no value, and every Democrat who votes for it, I think, will face a real risk back home.
Robin, the bar for substance is pretty high for the Democrats. You think they'll meet it?
Absolutely, Dana. We must bring it. We've started this process, and our base is fatigued. Look at what happened with the Mueller investigation. We know that from the offset that when we went down this path, that we had to have something concrete to deliver, or it would backfire. That's why Nancy Pelosi delayed this as far as she could until she felt she had no other option. So, absolutely, Newt is correct. We must absolutely bring it, Dana.
But Trent, you were also there in 1997, 98. I mean, people get fatigued. People were fatigued back then. News cycles happen so quickly now. How long do you think they can sustain public interest in this, even if it is just the Democratic base?
I think they've already lost public interest in this. I think it's totally peaked. And I think Robin's right. They're doing this just for their base. That's exactly why they're doing it. That's why it's going to backfire, because I think the people, the Americans in the middle, see this for what it is. It is a sham, all behind closed doors. You know, second-hand account, third-hand account. And the president's going to be, in the end, absolved by the Senate. So it's going to be like the Mueller report, Robin. The Mueller report said the president didn't do anything wrong. So it's helpful for Trump and helpful for Republicans.
Quick last word, Robin.
Public opinion is shifting toward impeachment and removal, as we've seen. So there is an appetite, but like I said, it better be there or we're in trouble, Dana.
Yeah, Robin, you're always for a little skeptical view. Appreciate it. Trent Duffy and Robin Biro, thank you. Some Facebook employees taking aim at Mark Zuckerberg over the hands-off policy for political ad content on the social media site, why they are calling this policy of his a threat to the company.